3 years ago, I moved into the old Victorian house on Willow Street with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The house was relatively cheap for its size. It was a steal, a true fixer-upper, but there was a reason for that. I came to find out the very disturbing reason why the owner wanted to sell it so quickly for cheap. The locals whispered about it, telling me the house had a dark past. They said it was haunted. I chose to ignore those claims, because I've never truly believed in ghosts. The first few nights were uneventful. I unpacked, painted, and even started to feel comfortable. Then I started hearing whispers, faint voices in the dead of night just at the edge, hearing of. I'd hear my name, whispers that curled around my ears like cold fingers. Still, I ignored it, thought I was becoming paranoid and just needed more rest from the long work shifts I've been getting. On one hot summer evening, I was alone in the kitchen and suddenly the temperature dropped drastically. I felt another presence in the room. I lived alone and I didn't own any pets at the time. So I tried to shrug it off, but the feeling of something watching me wouldn't go away and kept growing stronger. Then I saw a dark figure in the shadows. My heart pounded as I fled the room, locking myself in my bedroom. The following nights grew worse. Footsteps echoed through empty halls, doors slammed shut by themselves, and chilling laughter echoed in the darkness. I finally started to believe there was truly something sinister in the house. Desperate, I researched the house's history and discovered a tragic tale of a family that had met a gruesome end within these walls. One night, as I lay paralyzed in my bed, the figure appeared again at the foot of my bed. Although it was hard to see, I managed to make out what it looked like. It was a woman, her face twisted in anguish. She pointed toward the attic, her spectral voice pleading for justice. It was the most horrifying thing I had never seen. I laid there, still paralyzed, waiting for it to leave, hoping that this was just another terrible nightmare. But she wouldn't go away and kept her finger fixated on the attic. I gathered all the courage I had, and with trembling hands, I hesitantly followed her guidance into the attic. Hidden beneath rotting floorboards, she revealed an old, long-forgotten diary. It told the story of a woman trapped and tormented, her pleas for help ignored by the living. After paging through the diary, I turned around and the woman was gone. I realized that her spirit was seeking retribution. I wanted the torment to end, so I vowed to help her. With the diary in hand, I reached out to the local historian to try and uncover the truth. After days of searching through old newspapers and trying to learn about the small town's history, I had finally found the truth. It appears the woman had been wrongfully accused of murdering her family in the house. She was devastated and couldn't stop grieving over the loss of her husband and children. She felt she had lost everything. 2 days later, she decided to investigate and find out who's responsible for the killing, but she was stopped by the people of the town who came to hear about the tragedy that took place in the house, and she was beaten to death, blamed without any proof. A few days later, I was getting ready for bed when I started hearing a whisper of the word justice play over and over in my ears. It was the voice of the woman. But this time it wasn't as hauntingly terrifying as before, but it sounded like a hopeful and rejoicing voice. As the days progressed, I saw multiple figures with sad sorrow in their eyes, hiding in the shadows, staring at me through the attic. It made my blood run cold every time. It got so bad that I started losing sleep due to the noises that haunted my nights. Despite all the terror and paranormal activity, I kept on with the investigation. I spent hours just to figure out what caused the deaths in the house, and then I finally figured it out. Turns out her jealous neighbor was responsible for the entire family's death. When they first moved into the house, her neighbor was always jealous type of the family's success. One night when she was gone, the neighbor broke into the house and tried to curse the family, but then he was caught by the husband. The following events lead to the neighbor killing her family, then blamed her for the murders. The curse trapped the whole family into the house, preventing them from continuing on to their afterlife. As the truth came to light, the disturbances in the house subsided. The woman's spirit, her thirst for justice quenched, finally found peace. I had moved into a haunted house, but I had also helped a tormented soul find solace. I got a priest that helped remove any other spirits live in the house, and after a long time, I finally had the most peaceful sleep that night since I moved into the house.